Hey guys, the lighting in here is awful per usual, but I wanted to check in because I didn't get a video up last week, and so here I am. And I also didn't get a chance to tell anybody about my plastics consultation yet, which was the plan for today. So I'm going to try to hold this. Welcome if you're just joining me, Emily, as you may have read from the title of my channel. I am super excited to have you here if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later. Either way, I talk about weight loss surgery and post-weight loss surgery mind mess with your mind kind of stuff, and the I guess the journey that I've been on for the past 5 years. I'm going to try to set this here. It looks like there's a bunch of you in here, so that's exciting. So let me know if you guys saw me talk about being on YouTube Live on Snapchat or Instagram. Did any of you see it there? Because I will try to be better about announcing it in those places so that you guys can join me live more often. But hi, let me know where you guys are coming in from, and I will talk to you about my consultation. I think it was 2 weeks ago now with a doctor here in Grand Rapids, Dr. Livingston. Firstly, I'm just going to complain for a second. Actually, I'm going to say something I'm thankful for because I said I was going to do that. And today I'm thankful for sweater weather. I already said that on my, thanks Diana. She said she saw it on Instagram. Appreciate that. And then Mimi just got a notification. Well, that's cool. Sorry about my ugly ceiling fan in the background. Not my decor choice. Lauren is from Idaho. 1 week post.VSG. Loved your video. So helpful. Thanks, Lauren. Hi to Idaho. Idaho is beautiful from my understanding. I am thankful for sweater weather, and it's fall, and I'm ready to wear like warmer clothes because I think they're cuter. Like at least my clothes. I don't really have a lot of summer clothes. I don't have a lot of clothes in general. I just signed up for I'm doing Lato, Stitch Fix, and Trendsend right now, you guys. Let me know if you'd want to see a video on that. Shoot me a comment below and let me know, because I'm thinking about doing a video on everything they sent me and just kind of breaking it down and showing you guys so you can get an idea. I think it's a really good service, especially for post-weight loss surgery people, because they ask for your measurements and you can like tell them exactly like kind of what your shape is and stuff. And everything they sent me except for one pair of pants fit really, really well from actually from both places. Trendsend was the one that like picked out stuff and then I could purchase if I wanted to. So anyway, side note. And then I just found out today, well, I have just paid for a car repair, $883, and then went to the dentist and had to have like $2,000 worth of dental work done. Like getting old is the worst. Adulting is the worst, but so that's bumming me out today. But I'm thankful for sweater weather nonetheless. So back to the plastics. That's what you guys came for. Well, that's what you want to hear. I don't know. I went to see Dr. Livingston here in Grand Rapids 2 weeks ago. Previously, I did a virtual consultation with Dr. Quiroz, Quiroz, in Tijuana, Mexico, and sent him my pictures for the excess like abdominal skin that I have from losing 120 pounds, and he suggested doing a 360 lift. This is the doctor from Mexico. He suggested doing a 360 lift with most likely like a fleur-de-lis center incision for the abdominoplasty. I was anticipating going to him, but I also wanted to check out the local doctor because there is a chance, a significant chance, that my insurance will pay for part of it, which would be the paniculectomy portion, which a lot of insurances do cover. You have to have certain medical criteria met. For my insurance, it's like it has to be a certain amount of excess skin. It has to cause like irritation on your skin, and you have to have been at a stable weight for a certain period of time. I'm not sure if you had to have had weight loss surgery. I doubt it. I'm sure it's just weight loss in general, and I don't know if there's an amount for that. I can't remember off the top of my head. So after having the consultation with the Tijuana doctor, he quoted me around $10,000 for all of that, for the fleur-de-lis with the 360 lift, and also doing lipo from my flanks to put in my booty. And the more I read about that, I read that the death rate is actually higher when they inject fat into the buttocks. It just increases the death rate for complications from this surgery, and that freaked me out. So I had already ruled that out. I had also ruled out having a fleur-de-lis. I just don't want that vertical scar on my belly. I don't anticipate wearing bikinis more than likely, but I'd love to have the option, and I just don't want that scar. The waistline scar will be enough for me. And I also, he said, making it more of an hourglass shape, but I feel like I do have an hourglass shape already, and it's just like the front, has the excess skin, but I do like the shape of like my waist and my hips. So I was ruling that out. So that might have lowered the price a little bit, I'm sure, because I don't know if they might still do the lipo and then just not inject it. So you're talking probably like $8,000 to $10,000, and that's including a plane ticket for myself, the lodging afterward, which was like $150 a night, and then lodging for my girlfriend that's coming, that was going to come with me. A gal just wrote, I'm sorry that I didn't catch her name because it disappeared, that hers was frozen. Oh no, that's not good. Okay, yours is fine. So I'm sorry that you're having issues. I hope that it's not for everybody. So $10,000, I included everything pretty much, like meals, everything. So then I wanted to get the local consultation, and it did take me a few months to get in, and I went to see him. Dr. Livingston is in a practice with an actual weight loss surgery practice. Like the main one here, it's called Grand Health Partners. Main office, like place to get weight loss surgery. Hi Alice, I am just filling you guys in now. So I had gone to Mexico to get I didn't go to Mexico. It's been a long day. I had a virtual consultation with a doctor in Mexico, and now just 2 weeks ago I had one with a local Grand Rapids doctor here. So I'm just starting that. So the doctor in Grand Rapids is in the biggest weight loss surgery physician practice in GR. And so I felt comfortable about that because he's done these weight loss surgeries before. I will say this, if you guys haven't already seen this, there's an app called Real Self, and you're able to look at all the different like plastic surgery procedures and see like what they are, see like before and after pictures, see different doctors like reviews. And there is one review only on this doctor, and of course I wouldn't even suggest looking it up because it's like a picture that's emblazoned in my brain, and it's like necrosis of this. She had a 360 lift in the place where it's basically like the top of her butt crack and then the incision line. She had necrosis, which is a complication that can happen where the skin just like dies there, and it was like a gaping hole for her. Some people just have like a little bit of a problem with that, or little spots that are like a little hole and they heal, but this one she had to pack it. She's got the whole review on there. I don't want to base my whole decision on this one review of this gal because I don't think that's fair to the doctor, because that can happen, and we all know there's cautionary tales. Every doctor, guarantee you, has some kind of side effect because post-op people don't get off their butt. That could very well be possible, Alice, too. Like I'm not gonna say this doctor is not a good doctor because there's one person that had a bad experience, and she said that he handled it well and he took good care of her, so that's really important to me. Oh, okay, awesome. And Alice says she's an advanced practice nurse, so thank you for the input. I appreciate that very much, and I am very open to anyone's input on this whole thing because I'm just like going through the motions, obviously going through the paces and learning so much along with the whole process. But so he did show me a lot of before and afters, and I feel confident that he's a good doctor. And also I really like that he spent a good hour with me. He drew, diagram after diagram, and some of it I already knew from researching on my own, and some of it I didn't. He talked to me about the separation of the abdomen, like the fat and the skin from the skin, and how he goes up and does that, and how he's really thoroughly explained that I've had kids, so I'm gonna have to have the muscle repair, and he did have me do like a crunch, and he showed me how they were lifted up, my abs, and then there is the separation between the two. He also said, oh, you've got nice muscles in there. And I think he was being genuine. He seemed very genuine about it, and it made my day. I'm not going to lie to you. Hi, Susan. I love all of your videos. You're awesome, she says. That's sweet. Thank you. Hi, Susan. I think you're awesome, too. Thanks for being here. So I was super excited to talk with him about it and just get more information. So he's telling me that he would go up in there and he would do the muscle repair, and so that's gonna sew. So my abdominal muscles right now are kind of like here's my abdominal cavity, and my abdominal muscles are like this right now, and there's a separation, and they should be like this, like they should be like flat and together, and they're like this. So he's gonna repair the muscles, and they're gonna lay flatter. And that's all. A lot of times you'll see people that have had this plastic surgery, and then you can see their abs afterward. I don't know that that's going to be the case for me, and I'm not going there in my mind. It would be awesome if I have abs in there. I know I do. I've been working on them, and they're my least favorite thing to work on. So he would go in there and repair that, and then obviously pull the skin down from the top to the bottom. And yes, my insurance, it's still pending. My authorization, so I don't know if it's approved yet, but they are going to cover the portion that would be what is the paniculectomy, which is just like this. It's only the skin below the belly button, and in order for me to get a good cosmetic result, I'm going to need the full like abdominoplasty tummy tuck, which is above the navel and then from the pubic area and pulled up, and then they do keep your navel, which this is something I didn't know, and you guys might think I'm silly, and I knew they reconstructed the belly buttons, but I just thought they I know this is going to sound dumb, but I thought they just made a new one, and I never quite figured out how they did it, but they keep your belly button, and then they, make a new hole. So I didn't realize it's like connected to your body, like muscularly, I think. So they keep the navel, and then they pull the skin down and create like a new like opening hole around the like tubular part of the navel, which I thought was super interesting. So it'd be like my own belly button still, pretty much. And let's see, and then they would lipo. So the mons area is like the area on your like pubic area where your pubic hair grows. And mine, he made comment of this, and I hadn't even asked him about it, but I always wondered about it. Like we do after having a significant weight loss, like a lot of times we'll have that fat there that makes it like puffy right there, and he does lipo on that, so that he said like girls will complain like it looks like a ball sack. Excuse my like French and language, but we're all adults here, I hope. So like, your plastics chat, could you tell me? Carrie Lynn, remind me at the end, and if you stick around, I'll answer questions at the end for sure. So he's gonna lipo that mons. They call it. I think it's I don't know if it's MONS or MANS. Mons area, and I was like thrilled to hear that, because I was always thought if my stomach was more flat, you're welcome, then I would look funny with that still there, because it is puffy. TMI. So he would do the lipo there, and he did say that he could do a 360 lift, but a couple things. It would increase the price. It would increase, which isn't a big, that's not a humongous factor to me, but it would also increase the recovery time. Right now, he said like it's like a 3-week recovery time for the tummy tuck, and it would be a 5-week recovery time for the 360 lift. And that in and of itself, like I won't have 5 weeks to take off of work, for anything like that. And also I don't, if I had like really, really bad loose skin in my buttocks, like maybe I would, but we kind of like pulled it up and looked at how it looked. The side of my thigh looked nice, and like, but I actually really don't mind my thighs at all too much, and I don't have a lot of issues with those, and it would only affect the outer thigh, not the inner thigh anyway, which the inner thigh is where I have like most of like if I had to nitpick my body, the inner thigh would be the part that I would pick, but I don't ever see myself getting a thigh lift. It's just like I just don't care that much. They're covered most of the time anyway, except for in a bathing suit, and even then it's not that bad. So anyway, he said that it can make your bum more flat, and I already do tend to have like kind of a flat bum. So I'm for now at least, I'm deciding against having a 360 lift. They did say, you know, most likely my insurance will cover a portion of it, and they are thinking my out of pocket, like after that, is going to be $2,000, which I'm like, oh my gosh. Susan says, my sister and mom had this Mons on. It looks really flat, not very good looking. I don't know. If you saw mine, which that won't be something that I will subject you to, but it's pretty like, bleh. Nice to meet you too, Alice. Thanks for joining and sharing your input. Please feel free to message me on Instagram if you have any more tips for me. Have a good night. So there we have it. So $2,000 out of pocket, crazy town. I have to take, I have to take the opportunity. I think I don't know that it's going to be this year. I think that most likely it'll probably be early next year that I'm going to be able to get this done. And there's a lot of factors involved. If it was just like up to me, I would just do it probably now. But there's job factors. There's a vacation. I'm going to Italy in January, and so there's that, and just a lot of different factors involved. Although I would love to just have it right now, and I could set the money aside right now. So that's hard. It's hard to know, like I could reach out and grab it, and I can't because of other things. But that was my own, that's due to some choices that I made this year. Not bad choices, but I chose to travel this year as opposed to, setting the time aside for the surgery, even though I knew I should. But if I wasn't going to Italy, I would have the time. So it's like a catch-22. That's an opportunity that came up, and I feel like it's once in a lifetime, and surgery I can still have next year. So blah, blah, blah. You guys probably don't care about all that. I'm happy to answer questions for you if you have questions. I can't think of anything else really to say about the surgery. It's overnight in the hospital, one night. It's considered observation, which, I work in the insurance field, so I know that's like 23 hours basically. Typically, I'm sure it could be less. And if there's complications, obviously they would keep me. And I think that's lovely. Like, I'm thrilled that it's observation. And then I do have friends and family that will come and stay with me afterward, and I plan on doing like freezer meals for the kids ahead of time, so they can just like pop things into, to cook that are easy, and not feel like a neglectful mom. I kind of want to get things set up in my bedroom, and maybe I'm gonna borrow a recliner from my cousin probably for the living room. I don't know, might be for the bedroom. I might get a TV. I don't have a TV in my bedroom right now. I don't really watch TV like much at all outside of certain times, I guess. So I might get a TV up in here, and we'll see how that goes. If you guys have like more tips for me on what to do to prepare, so if you guys, most of you know, I'm sure I'm a single mom. There's not really anyone here to take care of me, but I will have help. I do have friends and family coming. One of my girlfriends is coming. They'll probably will have to go to work, but she'll come at nighttime. And I told her, like, I know at first I'm going to need more hands-on care, and I think I'm going to have my girlfriend she's graduating nursing school. Actually, like, this week is her last week of nursing school. So I was going to have her come like immediately after, and then my cousin come for some parts of that as well. And then my girlfriend, maybe when I'm a little farther out, just that she can help me keep the house kind of maintained. I just like anticipate needing the house to be kind of kept picked up with the kiddos, and help with maybe getting them to school and stuff. My schedule with their dad varies. It changes like week to week, so that's something to take into consideration. But hopefully we'll get it all prepared. That kind of stresses me out a little bit, but I know that it will all work out how it's supposed to. And it's at St. Mary's Hospital here in Grand Rapids, which I love. That's where I had both the kids, and I just think they do a fabulous job and take really good care of their patients. And I really liked the doctor. I like the office. It's like one front office person. Excuse me, I keep itching my nose. There's one front office person, and she knows what she's talking about, which I really appreciate. And I think he just has one nurse, although the nurse that I met when I went wasn't his normal nurse, but I mean, she was fine. And yeah, so Carrie Lynn, you asked me, are you still here? I'll just answer you anyway, because you might watch this later. You asked me, but maybe ask me again. This is obviously non-plastics related. How to get your husband on board for the sleeve. Is that what you were asking me about, and maybe give me like one little bit of background, like a short bit of background on why he's against it, and that might help too. But I've actually helped people with this before. One of my girlfriend's sisters emailed me. She has never had a real weight problem or anything, and she was really concerned that her friend was going to have weight loss surgery. She was trying to talk her out of it. And that hurt my heart a little bit for the gal, but because I know like support is one of the biggest things that you want in your journey during all of this, and a lot of people don't get it. I had support from my friends, and I didn't really have any opposition. I mean, I think there's definitely people that could have asked more questions. He's worried something's going to go wrong. He's just worried about you and petrified of any type of surgery. Okay. So I think if he's a statistics person, pulling up statistics might be the best thing for you. Also, what I did, and this you may not want to share with him depending on the answer, I asked my surgeon how many fatalities he had, and he had none, which is a great thing to hear. Ask him how many surgeries he's done, how many surgery he does in, how many surgery, I just read the nose comment, how many surgeries he's done, how many he does per week. These are all things I feel like that make him experience. So compare it to like maybe what your husband's job is and how often he does a certain task and how much of a skill he's developed because of that. Also, you can get like, you know, the complication stuff a lot of times happens from infections and stuff. So research the hospital that you're going to have it done at. Get information on that if he's a statistics guy. Ultimately, if he has a weight problem, I would appeal to that and how that feels. But he's also a man, and I do think it's different for men than it is for women as far as weight problems go. I think there's more of a stigma around a woman. You will see heavy men on TV and not heavy women typically. So there is like a double standard there. But I would appeal to that. And honestly, I would just share from the bottom of your heart how much this surgery means to you, and that it's worth the risk. The reward outweighs the risk for you, because obviously if you want to have the surgery, that's the truth. The reward outweighs the risk for you, and you're willing to do that in order to lose this weight. And that's a big deal. So I would just appeal to his level, his sensitivity, and how much he cares about you, and just, you're going to probably have to get vulnerable with him and share with him like how hard this has been for you mentally, physically, all the above. Because statistically, Candace, I will, you're asking if I do keto, and I will totally get to that in a moment. Statistically, the obesity has a way higher chance of killing you, sorry to be frank, but than the surgery. So I would just appeal to those things. If he's a reasonable person, I hope that can help him. I'm sure he might still be scared anyway, and there's maybe some of that you're not going to be able to get past. But just remember, this is your body, and I don't mean to sound like a preacher on a soapbox, but when I start talking about this, I always sound like this because it's your body, and you're the one who has to live in it, nobody else. And I totally understand that you are in a marriage, and that's a partnership, and you agree to certain things, and you want to support each other, and you want people to make decisions, but ultimately it is your body and you live in it. So just remember that. Don't give something up because somebody else is scared. That's giving into fear, and that's not a good reason not to do anything, in my personal opinion, unless it's an obvious risk that you're probably going to get hurt. Then that's something else to evaluate. I hope that helps, and feel free to message me if you want any more insight on that. I think, I've done other videos on that too. Okay, sometimes they just don't get on board, and you just got to decide that this is what you want and need to go for it. Yeah, I really agree with that. It's ultimately his life will benefit from this. And I know he loves you, and I totally get it. I get the scared thing. I didn't deal with that because I was single, although I think, when I was in my marriage, I did talk about having weight loss surgery, and he was supportive of that. At least in the initial stages, it never got very far at that point when we were still married. So I was looking at the lap band, though, and sorry if there's any lap benders in here, but I'm so thankful that I did not do that. That would be scary. And if you're having that done, that's a whole different box of worms. I'm assuming you're having a sleeve or a gastric bypass. Candace asked about keto. Yes, I do keto, and lately I've been saying that a little less often about keto because I am not watching fat macros, but I will say, so I watch carbs. I try to get 30 to 20 or less, and I've also been doing intermittent fasting along with that, about 5 days a week. So I eat in an eating window from noon or 1 to 8 or 9, an 8-hour period, and then fast for the remainder of the time for 5 days a week. And then within that, I stay. Right now, I'm at usually 1,100 or less. For more quick weight loss, I need to go under 1,000. But lately, it's been like 1,100, and I don't, like I said, I don't watch my fat macros. I don't try to get super high fat macros, but I do eat like normally high fat foods. I eat chicken thigh instead of chicken breast to get that extra fat. But with my calorie restrictions of 1,100 or 1,000, it's hard for me to eat tons and tons of fat. So like I said, I don't want, you can like check out my fitness pal. That'll give you a general idea. It's Emily42897. And you can take a look there. If you have more questions, I'm like rambling on about that. Yes, I do keto is a short answer, but I don't do like fat bombs. I don't do bulletproof coffee. I used to, and there's nothing wrong with it. I actually think it's great. I just started doing green tea in the morning instead of coffee because I've been doing the intermittent fasting. So you wanted to keep it under less than 50 calories in the mornings. And my coffee wasn't. I was doing heavy whipping cream, and I was doing like a Quest protein in there to keep it sweet and stuff too. So, yeah. Does that help answer your question? And does anyone else have any more questions while I'm still here? Keto is a really excellent way to lose weight. Low carb in general, but you just don't want to do. I just don't believe in low fat, low carb. I don't believe in low fat, period. And in any part, the fat part of keto is scary. Oh, I'm not scared. I will say, yes, I can appreciate that. I have a girlfriend actually who's lost probably 15 pounds. She's non-weight loss surgery. She's lost 15 to 20 pounds doing keto at my encouragement, just telling her how successful it's been for me, and she loves it. She says that her sugar cravings are completely gone. Yeah, intermittent fasting gets easier too. She said, I love keto. Intermittent fasting is a challenge started this week. Intermittent fasting gets easier. But my girlfriend's lost like 15 pounds on her own, and she's like a normal weight. She not like a obese at all. She's overweight, but not obese. And she's had really good success. The fat doesn't make you fat. And I just researched that a little bit. If you're kind of coming from, and I totally get it. We've all been trained our whole life that fat makes you fat, and it's absolutely one of the biggest myths in the nutrition world, in my opinion. I eat full fat yogurt, full fat cottage cheese, full fat. We don't eat full fat milk, drink full fat milk, but I don't drink milk. It's not the greatest thing for you to drink milk anyway. And dairy is not the most awesome, stellar thing to be drinking either. Do a lot of non-animal protein. So if you can do like a lunch that's non-animal fat for your protein base, that's a really good way, because you don't want to get a ton of animal proteins. You want a good balance of healthy fats like avocado, coconut oil. Nuts can be in there, but nuts can get hard. I have a really hard time with nuts in my stomach post weight loss surgery. Bye, Emily. I can't wait for the next video. I'm 1.5 months out from VSG and doing great. Bye, Susan. Thank you so much for coming in. Super glad to see you, and congrats on your surgery. Candace says, thank you. I've been doing low carb, high protein. That's great. Just don't be afraid of the fat, because the fat is what's going to make you successful, because you're going to stay satisfied longer. And that's like the key for me, because I get hungry. And yes, again, I get hungry so much less than before surgery, but you still do get hunger this far out, like probably 3 years out or so. You start actually feeling like real legit hunger. But yeah, I hope that helps. Yeah, I don't know. Looking forward to our course is starting with my group on Sunday, so I can't wait to launch another one, see how this one goes, and have all these people in this course, and then see how the next one goes. And you guys asking these questions helps a lot. You're welcome, Candace. I'm trying to reach a goal of 312 to be approved for surgery. They called me and said maybe October 30th. I'm terrible about craving sweet stuff. Any tips about stopping the yo-yo gain and loss? Yeah, I have lots of, sweet cravings. Honestly, the best way to get rid of sweet cravings is to cut sweets out, and it's going to be super hard for the first probably week. I mean, some people might say 2 to 3 days, but if you've got a sweet tooth, which I totally can relate to, that's been me my entire life, still even now. A lot of people on keto or low carb say they don't get sweet cravings anymore. I'm not that girl. I totally still get sweet cravings. So, you know, some of us just do. My tip would be to cut them out and not really go toward, if you can help it, don't try to replace them. I know that's hard and probably not what you want to hear, but replacing them, I think, keeps the sugar cravings there for someone that has a sweet tooth already, like myself. So I can totally relate to that. I would cut them out. I would try to go savory. Oh, and then fat, that's going to be your friend again with the sweet cravings because you want something rich. Oh, another thing, like, so if you are having like a moment of temptation and you have to have something sweet, you know, we all know you really don't have to, and you can walk away and you can do all these things, but okay, let's say you want to give into this. Go for something like a spoonful of peanut butter, preferably like a PB2 powdered peanut butter that you mixed up with water, but something with like that has a richness to it. Dark chocolate is my thing. Just if I'm gonna have like a weak moment, I'm gonna do like a rich thing and eat something rich. That's gonna help satiate that sweet craving. So that's all I'll say for now. If you can give it up cold turkey, like, do it, because it'll be the best. Like, sugar is the devil. Like, sugar, not because of even weight gain. Like, I'm trying to teach this to my kids. My daughter brought home like a thing of cherry Coke. If you can get off pop too, don't even get me started. I told her, I know this is dramatic, you guys, and I'm really like not like this a lot with much of anything, but I said, I feel like you're bringing a drug into my house by bringing that cherry Coke into my house. Like, I'm so passionate. And I lived with a sugar addiction my entire life. Still have some of it, or whatever. And people will say there's no such thing, but an eating addiction. Something messed up in my wiring that makes me crave sugar, which sugar is extremely addictive. They've proven it's as addictive as cocaine. So there's a long rant. I bet you're sorry that you asked that question. I better wrap up, guys. It's getting to be long, but thank you so much if you join me. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the live videos and you like this one. And I would love to see you in another one and let me know what you want to hear about, because that's what I'm here for, is to help you. Not at all. Thank you a lot. You're welcome, sweetie. You're welcome. So welcome, guys. Have the best night, and I'm so glad that you guys could join me, and I'll try to announce it more on Instagram and at earlier time, because that seemed to work out really well. Have the best night. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.